Hello all, welcome to today's live stream. Yesterday I did have problems with the broadcast. It was lagging, and I hope it will work better today. I have checked my internet connection and I checked my computer and I adjust some things. Thank you, Eivind, for the donation that will be sent to Ukraine. Okay, today I will have a bit different topic. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm working on my series with military technique and why it proves the globe. Earlier today I released part 2 where I talked about radar in weapon systems and so on, and I'm preparing more videos in that series. At the same time, I'm working on a video about who are they. So it's still buffering. I keep going. I hope you will get it, get what I'm talking about. Okay, the other video I'm working on is who is they who hides things. It's the main problem when it comes to conspiracy nutcases. One of those I have had a look at is a channel called A Call for an Uprising. This person have released several YouTube channel. He have a bunch of them with different names, and of course it's because he get blocked by YouTube and so on. Doctor, complete halt for Eivind. I will try. Wait a moment. Okay, I will move on. Hopefully it gets better. I will try.
In my flat earth fact, number 4.
Sound is okay. Okay, I will start the video prepared. Hopefully it will work. As I said, A Call for an Uprising is the channel I have had a look at, and he have several channels, many of them with the same name, and some other. This is a quite big channel. His biggest channel is around 500,000 subscribers, and as soon he starts a new one, he gets quite quick 50,000-60,000 subscribers on channels. So he's quite big, and he has a website where people have to pay him to see his nonsense. So let's start. I have selected parts of several of his videos.
This is BBC News from London. Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
This is a time for judgment. Welcome to today's show. If you haven't heard, I'm sure you have, the Queen has left. Now, most people believe the Queen left a while ago, but we did see, supposedly, the Queen during the Jubilee. And I'll show you a video clip in a minute or two when I talked about that and how that was a ritual for her passing, the ritual they did at Stonehenge. Now, the Queen, obviously, there's a lot of things that, you can look at with the occult. You know the Queen's involvement. You know that the Queen is as wicked as they come, and the bloodline is as wicked as they come. What comes of this? Well, we have King Charles being announced as the king, which I'll cover in a separate video. But we have, just some random coincidences, like Harry and his wife just happened to be over there in the UK, coincidentally, for this ritual that took place in Scotland, right? Her whole family gathered at her Scottish estate after concerns grew about her health earlier on Thursday. I thought they were in America. Oh, they were touring the UK then. So conveniently they were there along with the entire family, because these are rituals. These people choose when they're going to go, and they have ceremonies beforehand that gets the people involved in the ceremonies as part of spell casting, as part of sigil magic. That's what the entire Jubilee was. It was a precursor for this. That's why they put her image on things like the Arch of Baal, okay, which is another satanic monument, the Arch of Baal, which I've covered in the past, which we see monuments of it all around the world, just like we see obelisks, which is supposed to be Satan's shaft, Baal's shaft. We see the Arch of Baal, and we, of course, saw Stonehenge, which was used, which I'll show you in a second. But they say with their eldest son, Charles, is now the Prince of Wales, will lead the country in mourning as the new king and the head of state for 14 Commonwealth realms. Now, what really changes here? Nothing really changes. They're all wicked people. We know and have seen Prince Charles and his involvement with the World Economic Forum. We see his involvement with pushing this climate change, and really, obviously, the Queen's on board with that. And if you don't know what the climate change agenda is, you better get with it, because you're going to lose all your rights, and they're going to blame it on something that you can't argue about. And we all have to, every single person's involved, and everybody loses their rights, except, of course, for the elites and the controllers. So
Okay, this is one example of many topics that he covers, and it's typical this kind of stupid channels. They choose topics that are well covered in media and so on. And people buy this bullshit. They never present any proof of this, but the Queen's death have been in media all around the globe, and therefore these nutcases try to use it for their own benefits. This idiot is in it to he makes a living of this. If you look at his channels, and fools are paying him to watch his crap. Who the nutter is, this channel had another name, but the main channel is A Call for an Uprising. And if you search on YouTube, you will find several, because he opening a new channel as soon as you YouTube strikes him or something. I don't know who he is. I only know the different channel. I think I have found 6 or 7 different channels from this nutcase. Let's move on.
Some of you may remember this. If you haven't heard about this secret covenant many years ago that came out, you need to hear it, because now with everything that's happening, when you listen to it again, it's more frightening than it probably was the first time you heard it, especially with what's happened in the last 2 years, especially what we know is going to continue to happen. Now, for those of you who don't know the background, I'll tell you real fast before I get into the covenant, which you all need to hear. The secret covenant of the Illuminati is what it was called. Now, there's no clarification of who wrote this and how this document got released, but this came out a while ago.
Okay, listen to what he said. He don't know who released the document he referring to and when. He don't know anything, but in his twisted mind, it's some kind of proof. Then he will show parts from a video that explain this, proofs, and who made the video he don't mention, and so on. So let's move on.
I believe in the 2000s it came out, at least to my awareness when I first found out about it. It was like a while ago. And a lot of people went with, repeated it and read it. And then people made videos about it, which I'm going to show you, where you can hear word for word what their plan is and was for humanity. Then you could evaluate that with exactly what's going on in today's world. Very, very frightening. And if you're trying to wake somebody up close to you, play this video, play that clip. It's a very basic, easy thing for somebody to look at and say, yeah, these are all the things that they're doing to all of us. And they're remaining hidden, because if people ever found out, as you'll hear in the end of the video, these people would not survive, because there's more of us than them. Take a look.
An illusion will be created so vast, so large that it escapes their perception. Those who see it will be thought of as insane. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always, and we will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespans short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators and sedatives in food and water. Also in the air, they will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths. They will destroy their minds and reproductive systems. For all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. They will see our products being used in films, and will grow accustomed to them, and will never know their true effect.
This is totally stupid. If you believe this, you cannot use lotions. Everything is dangerous. They want to kill us. But why? You never get to know why and who. So this is, but so far these theories are plain stupid. I have no problem that he believes that the Queen is evil and so on. This is also so stupid. If people believes that lotion or cosmetics or whatever is dangerous, it's their problem. The world is full of nutcases, but there are other topics.
Flying cows. You might think of cows flying in the sky, maybe in a tornado when you hear that expression. But now flying cows is a reference to 5G technology, because the technology they've had in place with drones, and this is something they have done tests on, is now going to get ramped up because they want to make sure that they have 5G everywhere. So in other words, if you think you can escape the radiation poisoning, think again. Because even if you go somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, they're going to attempt to have their 5G towers there, but they know that they can't build them in the middle of nowhere. So what they'll do is they'll start putting up 5G drones. That way there won't be any hot spots anymore. Oh, thank goodness. I mean, they really care so much about us that we have cell service in the middle of the abandoned woods, or, you know, some hick town somewhere that nobody knows about. They care so much that we're able to access our phones because the government obviously cares so much about us. You know, they care about making sure we can get on our phones and be connected all the time. If you haven't heard, like, that was one of the bills that got passed this year, making sure that there's internet connected everywhere, you know, because they can want to hook you up to the internet. And they also, of course, want to get something else inside your body, too, conveniently working with one another, because that's what's happening right now. So the flying cows would bridge the digital divide by turning for 5G help to drones. And this is not the newest technology, but this is a new story, because now we're going to see a rollout from AT&T with 5G drones. And of course, we all think, hey, fly a 5G drone over my house and watch what happens to it. But I guarantee you, you shoot one of those down, you'll do more time than somebody who commits murder, probably more time than someone who commits genocide, because, you know, these are the types of things that they're going to try to do everything they can to prevent from happening. So they'll put the most strict and harsh penalties behind anyone who tries to do something about
it. 5G is a very popular topic, and when it comes to 5G conspiracies, it have shown to be dangerous sometimes. Fools are sabotaging cell phone towers, antennas, and so on. Emergency service can't be reached, and so on. So this is on the edge of being dangerous.
Even though you would think that you were able to, have control over these types of things and what flies over your head at your own home. No, you won't be able to. And of course, those will also have cameras on it, by the way, so that you're completely monitored, but they'll never tell you that. And even if they do, most people wouldn't care. They wouldn't care if they're under surveillance 24/7 because they think they have nothing to hide.
Once again, why would they want to monitor us 24/7? And who wants it? The same problem once again. These nutcases never explain who and why. To be able to monitor everyone would take a bunch of people watching it, or that's so stupid. And one part in this, he's from US, and he thinks the punishment for shooting down a drone would be more severe than murdering someone. Last time I checked, you have life sentences in US, and in some parts you can be sentenced to death. So how can it be worse than that?
I want to show you some more of this predictive programming that's out there. Of course, somehow they conveniently know that we're going to have a food shortage in 2023. Oh, right, because they're doing it on purpose, right?
I have. He also have made videos about the war is fake and so on, and here he shows when I think it gets more disgusting.
They just conveniently know these things, that it's just going to get worse and we're going to just have less and less food. I would think that maybe that would be the top priority in the world then. All the world leaders should figure out how we can have more food, lower the prices of things, make sure that we're growing things, make sure with this abundance of land. I mean, think about all the land around the entire planet, right? That we're all relying apparently on Ukraine for a lot of our food supply. And again, before any of this nonsense happened, nobody had ever heard that the world's wheat supply and other crops were dependent on Ukraine.
That Ukraine was a big exporter of different things was a well-known fact. He thinks his ignorance is proofs that no one knew. So, yes, we know that we will have don't have enough food next year because you don't in some months start to grow vegetables and so on land that you haven't used. It's no quick fix for this, but he's too stupid to understand.
Nobody had ever heard that because it's not true.
Yes, it's true.
There's plenty of places in America that they can, and there's grow these crops. Plenty of places. Do a cross-country trip across America, okay? Make sure you go through the Dakotas and Montana. There's a lot of land that's opened up. I know Bill Gates has taken over a lot of that land, but you know what? As citizens, take over his land.
And he's a typical American conspiracy nutcase. He thinks the whole world is US. The food crisis will not be in US. It will be in Africa and so on. There are they who will suffer for this. And I don't think that US is capable of producing enough food to feed whole of Africa. But his world is US and US only.
If we're struggling to find places to grow crops or workers, we'll figure it out. And Bill can lose his land. They come and they take from us all the time. Well, why are they swarming up and taking all the land from everybody to do nothing with it except grow their Soylent Green product, right? But this is the article here. And again, you're hearing this all around the world. Australia's talking about it. And of course, they're blaming it on the same factors, right? Well, the war in Ukraine, inflation, how about we just start blaming it on our government? How about we start blaming it on places like the World Economic Forum? They're all doing this on purpose. Why? Because they want us to be more dependent on them for food and water. Why? Because then they have more control over us. Then they don't have to worry about telling people that they should take the potion or anything like that, and them saying, no, I'm good. Then they'll say, look, you're going to take the potion if you want food and you want water. And people...
No one does that. And here he comes with his, of course, he's an anti-vaxxer too. And the illness that spread around the world is a hoax and so on. And people is paying money for looking at his crap. Because on YouTube, he don't say all. He know that he are risking to get blocked on YouTube. So for this type of fools and channels, YouTube is a billboard promoting their bullshit. But when you pay him on his own platform, you will get more of these idiotic theories and a whole bunch of more dangerous things.
Will be forced into it. And that's what their plan is, to force people to be dependent on them. And of course, they'll play the role of hero. They'll come in and say, Bill Gates and all these people, they're heroes because they're philanthropists who are giving up their land and their time to feed the world. And the suckers will buy into it. They won't realize, well, the only reason that there's a food crisis in the first place is because these people caused the food crisis so that they could swoop in and be the heroes. And then they blame it on the climate, things that they can control. I mean, how many times have we heard over the years about them being able to create storms? I mean, this goes back to Vietnam. I said it a million times with Operation Popeye. Oh, you were able to create, all types of storms during the war to flood people out. Oh, I just covered a couple years ago, in India, in Dubai, how they were using, weather technology to create rain to stop the droughts. I mean, you would think maybe they'd stop the forest fires that go on. Maybe this summer with all the droughts and all the crops that are drying up, you think maybe they'd say, all right, we're going to do something about it. We're going to make more crops because the most important thing in the world is food and water for us.
And none of his statements he have any kind of proof for. The last part, the last video I will show is also so damn stupid. And in this case, I think his followers, if they do what he asked them to do, they will get into big trouble.
One of the things I want to reiterate is the importance of knowing your enemy, knowing where they are. When stuff goes down, it's important to know where they are. I've talked about the underground bunkers that these people have built. And something I'm posting over on the website, and I want to be active in the forum, is people talking about their states, where these bases and compounds are, because pretty much every state has one of these underground massive military bases. And, they give you the illusion that, like, oh, yeah, it's military stuff going on down there. And they're, rolling around. I mean, it's a joke. They're literally underground cities. They're underground cities that, filled with food, filled with resources, sleeping arrangements, bathroom, everything's fully functioning like it would be up here. And, of course, this is for the politicians, the chosen elect, who will be down there and who will be protected from the citizens when they cause this stuff against the citizens. It's important to know where they are. Why? Well, you're not going to be able to knock and get in, not that you're going to want to. But when the citizens realize what's happening, there's a chance that the citizens can rally together and the citizens can know and wait for them to come out of their hole. That's something they don't expect people to do because they don't expect citizens to band together and survive. But we know people like me and you who listen to this channel have a really good chance of surviving what's coming. That's why I believe it's going to be an extended period of time because they're going to try to wait this out as long as they can. But knowing where they are is of extreme importance. I want to talk about some of the places, just as an example, so that you're familiar. And then you could talk about it on the website, in the forum. I'll pin something over there. And we could share, each state. You don't have to say what state you're in or what you know about a specific military base. Obviously, there's Mount Weather. That's the one most of us always start at, Mount Weather, which is really like their FEMA underground, which is very dense, of course. And, they tell you it's there for, well, they don't give you any real reason, right? Why should they? You have the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, which I'm going to show you in a minute what it looks like inside with a little video clip. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex, which is located near Colorado Springs. Like I said, the FEMA underground and Mount Weather, which is very obviously, a lot of people believe that this is where most of our government's going to go, but then there's obviously talks of Raven Rock in Pennsylvania being the place where most of the politicians will go because they'll think that they're in Mount Weather. This is another underground base. And you have places like Area 51. We know underneath the Denver airport, there's a massive military base, pretty much around the entire country. But you don't need to, but I think it's important that people know not only that they exist, but where the entrances are, where they are, where you can find on a map. And obviously a lot of these places are in the mountains. You have the Ozarks as well.
Oh dear. I don't know anything about military bunkers and facilities in the US, but I know this, that in every country this type of facilities is top secret. And if you reveal details about them online, for instance, you will get into a lot of problems. So he's promoting that his followers on his damn forum would discuss and share information about military facilities. Oh dear. They they are secret for one reason, so the enemy don't know details about the facilities. But in this stupid idiot's twisted mind, we have those kind of facilities so they can hide from the people when the secrets are revealed. Oh. This last conspiracy is most dangerous for the fools following his advice, sharing information about top secret facilities. I choose this fool to make this video about this because when I worked on this who is they and why this one covers many conspiracies, and I think it's quite fascinating that he have so damn many followers. His main channel is bigger than Simon Dan, for instance. And if you combine his different channels, he have a lot of traffic on his channels. Tusk, your rain dance, you were turning in the wrong direction, I think, or something else. Old man, I think it's a documentary according to him. This nutcases. This type of conspiracy, you can laugh at them, but the sad thing is people believe in those idiots, and I deliberately didn't choose videos where he talks more about the ongoing war. Makes me so damn mad. So I choose to not select that one, that topic, but still he covers it all: food crisis, vaccine, 5G, you name it. He's full on all conspiracies. I think the find at his channel was Flat Earth. Okay. I was talking so much I haven't read your comments. YouTube is still complaining about the I have to this weekend. I will look into why it's lagging. Hopefully I will find the reason for it. Yesterday I mentioned this. I did notice from DJI, so the third drone will arrive Wednesday next week, according to DJI, and then the third one will be sent. So hopefully the 3 drones will come to use in Ukraine. Okay, that was all that I have planned for this live. I will be away until Monday. I will get into uniform and will be away for 3 days working. But then I will be back with more content. YouTube is complaining a lot, so sorry, but I will end the stream because now it's complaining that it can't receive any. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.